is up, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a new fantasy sports app. It's called Ownersbox, and it works pretty similar to PrizePicks, but it actually has more value. So these DFS apps, I use 6 main DFS apps: PrizePicks, Underdog, Dabble, Better, DraftKings Pick 6, and Ownersbox. There's a bunch of different options, and I use them all. So the main reason why you want to use multiple books, multiple apps, honestly, every book available in your location, is all of these books set their own unique lines. So I'll give you an example. If you want to bet on Coleman to go over in rushing yards, you should be playing that on PrizePicks, right? They're giving you 109.5. That's the best line in the market. If you want to play his under, you should be playing that on DraftKings Pick 6, right? They have him at 114.5. So every DFS app sets their own unique lines. So we never know which book is going to have the best value on a given day. Sometimes PrizePicks has the best value. Other days it's Underdog Fantasy. Another reason, another benefit of using multiple books, multiple DFS apps, is all of them run their own unique promos, right? So PrizePicks has Taco Tuesday. Every single Tuesday, they discount a bunch of players' lines, promos. It's the easiest money. It's the easiest value you're ever going to get sports betting. PrizePicks also runs a ton of free squares like Mahomes. And it's the same thing on Ownersbox, right? They run all of these different promos. So the more books you use, the more promos, more easy value, more money in your pocket. So without further ado, I kind of want to get into how does Ownersbox work? What is the profitable betting strategy on this book? So Ownersbox is a fixed payout DFS app, just like PrizePicks, right? So on Ownersbox, any 3-pick entry, just like PrizePicks, just like Underdog, just like Dabble, any 3-pick entry has a 6x payout. So for example, if you take, a player to go over or under, you can see in this little video on the screen, as I switch players from an over to an under, it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect my payout. Any 3 picks on the board on Ownersbox, you're getting a 6x payout, which is the same as plus 500 odds. You're betting 100 to win 600, 500 in profit. So plus 500 odds. So all of these sports books have optimal slip types, right? And there's also profitable strategy that I'm going to go through. So for example, on Better Picks, they only give you a 5x payout for 3-mans. Every other DFS app, they give you a 6x payout for 3-pick entries. So on Better, you obviously don't want to be running 3-mans. So on Ownersbox, they actually offer really good payouts on their 6-pick flex play. When you break down the math, that is the optimal slip type, and you're getting approximately minus 117. It's like minus 117.3 when you break down the math. But they're basically charging minus 117 juice on any pick on the board for a 6-pick entry. Now I will say 3-pick entries are minus 122, so they're definitely worse. They're a little bit worse. But sometimes if there's ridiculous value, there's only 3 picks with crazy value, but there's not another 3 picks that are plus EV or profitable, sometimes I'll just run a 3-pick entry on Ownersbox, especially for these promos and discounts. But without further ado, let's kind of get into how I build my Ownersbox slips, profitable betting strategy on this DFS app, and then kind of the math behind their 6-mans and why that is the best type of slip. 2 picks, 3x payout. I want to be really clear. That means you're betting 100 to win 300 total, but only 200 in profit, right? That 300 in your payout includes your stake. So it's actually plus 200 odds. But basically what you can do is you can work out like what percentage of my picks do I need to win to be profitable. And basically you can back it out. It's over 57.8%. So for a 2-pick entry, you need to win your picks 57.8%. 0.8% of the time or more to be profitable. That's really hard to do. I want to make that really clear. Like, let's say you can win your pick 60% of the time. Your ROI would be positive on Ownersbox. Again, the sheet will be in the description. So if you can win your pick 60% of the time, you're going to have an ROI of 8% playing 2-pick entries on Ownersbox or PrizePicks, any of these DFS apps. But that's really hard to do, right? That means you're winning 60% of your picks, right? Just like Flacco over under, you're winning 60% of your picks, you're only losing 40%, right? That means you have a real edge. That's not easy to do because you have to remember, sportsbooks are setting these lines, Ownersbox, PrizePicks, they're setting these lines to be roughly 50-50. So basically, you know, what you can see is the point of indifference, right, where your ROI is about 0, is minus 137 implied odds. So basically, if you win 58% of your picks, you'll have a very small ROI, but you're basically going to break even. Now, that's horrible, right? This is really high. That is really high. That basically means Ownersbox, just like PrizePicks, they are giving you minus 137 juice, right? For a 2-pick entry, that is a lot of juice, right? If you think about how much juice does a traditional sportsbook charge on over-unders, minus 110, minus 110, right? For spreads, for player props, it may be a little bit higher. So if I just go here to like an NFL game, right? You can see FanDuel minus 114 for their over-unders. On Ownersbox, on PrizePicks, it's minus 137, minus 137. You know, 2.5x the juice on 2-mans, which is why 2-mans are absolutely horrible. You don't want to play them. But basically, Ownersbox is just charging you, right, minus 137 juice. Any 2-pick parlay you build will have a 3x payout, 100 to win 300 or plus 200 odds. And you can kind of see that on FanDuel. If you build any parlay where both legs are approximately minus 137, it's going to come out to a 3x payout plus 200 odds. So, long story short, that's really bad, right? You do not want to be running 2-pick entries. Minus 137 juice is a lot of juice. And you can kind of see here on PrizePicks, right? Minus 137 juice for a 2-man, which is a lot, but 5-pick flex plays are minus 119 implied odds. They're much lower juice. So you just have to know the optimal slip to go with. So on Ownersbox, if I create a 6-pick entry, this is the optimal slip type. So I'm just kind of going to show you what the payouts are. And let's build a 6-man. So again, I've gone through the math of all these different payouts. So the optimal one is a protected pick, a 6-pick insured entry, or a 6-pick protected play. So basically, if you lose one leg out of your 6-man, you're still gonna get paid. You're gonna get a 3x payout plus 200 odds. So here, if you break down the math for a 6-pick entry, you only need to win your picks 54% of the time, right? So 54% of the time to break even. Again, for 2-mans, it was 57.8%. So basically, if you're winning your picks, let's say 56% of the time, you know, you're winning your over-unders just like Harrison over-under 4.5 strikeouts. If you can win your picks just like Harrison over-under 4.5 Ks, 56% of the time, losing only 44% over the course of the long run, you're going to have a negative 6% ROI. Again, I have to change that to red. I'm just playing with the numbers. You're going to have a negative 6% ROI playing 2-mans. However, for 6-pick entries, you're going to have a super good ROI. You're going to have a 20% ROI, right? So you can see the math here. You're going to have a 20% ROI on your 6-mans. So that's ridiculously good. That's why this is the optimal slip type. Here's the math. Again, the sheet will be in the description. So how do you find profitable Ownersbox plays? Let me refresh here and let's see if there's actually any value available. There may not be any value right now. And it doesn't look like there's a ton of value on Ownersbox right now. Most of the baseball games have started. But just to give you an example of a play that, you know, maybe somewhat decent. I mean, personally, I would just not run a slip right now. But again, for Bucky Irving, right, you take his over or his under, you're getting the same price for a 6-pick flex play, 6-pick protected play on Ownersbox. It's about minus 117.3. I guess Odds Jam is just being conservative and putting minus 118, minus 118. So again, you take the over, you take the under, you're getting the same payout, right? Over, under, you're getting the same payout. This does not change, right? They're 25x and 3x. So the odds are the same for both the over as well as the under. And you can see here, every sports book, including these sharp books like Novig, granted you have a lot of one-way markets, but Circa's a sharp book. Again, they don't have the over very heavily favored. It's only minus 125. But still, they have the over as the favored outcome. So if you were gonna make a pick, or if there was a good promo and there wasn't a lot of value on the board, you could run Bucky Irving to score a touchdown. Granted, I'm just not going to play this. There's not crazy value right now, so I'm just not going to force a slip, right? But you can see Bucky Irving's over is heavily favored, so that would be the preferred pick on Ownersbox. Comparing the lines on these DFS apps like Ownersbox, PrizePicks directly to sportsbooks is the easiest way to get an edge and win long term. So anyways, that's a little bit about Ownersbox, how to build profitable slips, optimal slip type. Again, usually you will see bets on the positive EV tool. So for Underdog, they offer very good payouts, minus 116, minus 116 juice when you break down the math. So this is an example of a great play on Underdog. It's not available on Ownersbox, but you have Durin under 1.5 bases. You can see here, every sports book has Durin's under as the heavy favorite, right? Minus 140 on Fliff, minus 156 on DraftKings. So this is a profitable pick, right? This is a pick that is winning. The under is winning, 55% of the time or whatever it is, more than the required minimum threshold. So you just find 6 profitable picks on Underdog or Ownersbox, right? You run it as a protected play. On Underdog Fantasy, it's a 6-pick flex play, which you can see right here. So you run these plays in an insured entry, a 6-man, and you're gonna be very profitable long term. So that's a little bit about Ownersbox. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for your time, guys. Comment any questions.